Yo, this is Dova Blackhat Gaming. I do RPG games like Elder Scrolls and Fallout and many more. Subscribe to see more and enjoy the video.
Good afternoon.
Ah, there you are. I've consulted my contacts regarding the information you recovered from Golden Glow Estate, but no one can identify that symbol. It would seem our adversary is attempting to take us apart indirectly by angering Maven Blackbriar. Very clever. They're well funded, and they've been able to avoid identification for years. I'm impressed it reached this point. Just don't mistake my admiration for complacency. Our nemesis is going to pay dearly. Because even after all their posturing and planning, they've made a mistake. The parchment you recovered mentions a Gajal lie. According to my sources, that's an old alias used by one of our contacts. His real name is Gullumai. Slimy bastard. Gullumai is our inside man at the East Empire Company in Solitude. I'm betting he acted as a go-between for the sale of Golden Glow Estate and that he can finger our buyer. Get out there, shake him down, see what you come up with. Talk to Brynjolf before you leave if you have any questions.
Good to see you, my friend.
I can't believe Gullumai's mixed up in all this. That Argonian couldn't find his tail with both hands. Don't get me wrong, he could scam a beggar out of his last septim. But he's no mastermind. Don't get me wrong. Trouble. He's one of the most stubborn lizards I've ever met. You have your work cut out for you. You're going to have to buy him off. It's the only way to get his attention. If that fails, follow him and see what he's up to. If I know Gullumai, he's in way over his head, and you'll be able to use it as leverage. I'm glad to see you're embracing our methods. It would be a waste to lose a contact at the East Empire Company before we had the entire story. Just keep on Gullumai's tail, and he's bound to step into something he can't scrape off his boot. Just head right back to the guild and get the information to Mercer. Nothing else is more important. If you discover Gullumai's holding out on us and has more loot stashed away than he claims, we'd find that information quite valuable as well. There are thieves, and then there is Gullumai. No honor, no code at all. He'd shake your hand and stab you in the back at the same time. The cut he's supposed to provide the guild has dwindled as of late. He says pickings in the warehouse are slim, but I'm certain he's lying. Keep your eyes on him. He's quite crafty. Gullumai works in the East Empire Company warehouse. He helps maintain all of the shipments of goods that goes in and out of Solitude. That means he has the pick of the litter from some of the finest goods to grace Skyrim's shores. He isn't exactly in the guild, but he pays us a cut of all the stuff he lifts from the warehouse. A mercantile group that has established ports all over Tamriel. They pretty much dominate the whole shipping industry. The Emperor himself supposedly backs them, which means they have fairly unlimited resources, so don't get their feathers in a ruffle. Good luck in Solitude. Keep Gullumai alive, but remind him who we are.
Need something?
So this Gullum A is our next lead. But why would anyone want to act out against the Thieves Guild now? We're practically powerless. The Thieves Guild doesn't have any real influence outside Riften. We haven't relaxed at a tavern in a while. Our adventuring has been getting more tiring lately, so some reprieve would be nice. Now, let's get going. The sun here, it's not great for my skin, if you know what I mean.
Nothing like a goose chase around the whole damned province.
You know you can afford a septim or two.
Be careful when you're talking to this Argonian. I've seen some around my father's court, and they can be particularly shrewd. And this might come in handy. In case he needs a little coin to grease the wheels. Sure thing. Do you want to have it standing here, or do you want to find a seat first? Alright, now on to the drinks. Do you want to have mead, wine, or just plain milk? Nice. A bit fancy now, aren't we? I don't think you have some of that wine on you, though. Here, I'll help you out. Likewise. Our adventuring has been getting more tiring lately. It's as if the world is responding to your growing power. As you get stronger, enemies get stronger. Which is why moments where I get to drink with you are all the more lovely. Finally, a time to rest and just relax. This isn't necessarily a past journey, but I was thinking about this regardless. The Civil War. Waking up to this whole mess was truly something I did not expect. I expected a change in who was the High King, but I didn't know that they were more complicated. Cyrodiil being the seat of an empire, for one. And besides this whole civil contention for Skyrim's land, we have Altmer nationalists eyeing to conquer it as well. The Tale of the Great Moth Priest Hunt. Not something I'd want to read. Wait, how about the Tale of the Goose Chase Around Skyrim? No, not that either. Let's just get this over and done with. Skyrim's a big place, so it might take some time to say the least before we find the priest. I was just looking back at some childhood memories. The more pleasant ones. There was an old jetty where boats would bring supplies to the castle. Once we moved in, it never got used, along with the rest of the castle undercroft. That's why I used to play and hide down there, looking out to the sea, usually when my father was in a bad mood. Peace, quiet, and there was nothing but the crashing of waves and a sweet ocean breeze. However, if you journeyed further into the undercroft and away from the sea, you reached the old water cistern. You wouldn't like to hang around there for too long. On some days, this would smell just Be glad you weren't there then. Gravity. It truly is a peculiar thing. This law of the earth bones, or so I've read, dictates how land and people are held in place, and how what comes up must come down. It's generally a simple fact of our reality, but it is nonetheless perplexing to think about. But let's just put that aside for now. There's this other thing that I've been thinking about. Symbolic gravity. I think it is that, in which a sense, weighs us down. It prevents us from truly ascending to our true potential. When mortals, vampires, or any sentient being in Nirn tries to scramble and fight for dominance, power, influence, it really is just vanity in the end. Don't you think? If only we understood one another, and not be consumed by these petty squabbles, we could truly ascend into something else. Maybe even Chim. Who knows? You know, I still can't get over it. My mother. Just locking me up like some dangerous thing. Shore's bones. I was her daughter. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just can't help thinking about it. Let's keep moving. I'll be fine. I read this book once. Oh, that was ages ago, really. And it was already falling apart. It had a very sweet love story between a woman and a vampire. Of course, when I was very young, I had a soft spot for romance. It was so silly, too. The vampire glowed in the sun. Whoever came up with that hogwash. So, what do you want to talk about now? Good question. I haven't really thought about that, actually. Do I really? Oh, well, I guess it's because I've always been fascinated about their culture. Silt striders, living in mushroom houses. That, and I also think that these Dunmer words roll off the tongue and are rather amusing to say. All right. So, what do you want to talk about now? If I know my history right, every great empire has its rise and its fall. We've had the Alessian Empire, Remans, the Septums, and now the Medes, all of which have risen to great prominence, but eventually fell due to a variety of reasons, whether it be inner strife, turmoil, or the rise of another great power, like the Dominion. And as this Aldmeri Dominion rises, it's inevitable that they will fall. As for when, only history will tell. No mortal empire lasts forever. That's just always been the case, really. It's nice, spending time like this, just having drinks together. Be careful when you're talking to this Algonquin. I've seen some around my father's court, and they can be particularly shrewd. I'd read stories about the Solitude Windmill, but I didn't expect it to be that big.
So, what do we have here? Let me guess. By your scent, I'd say you were from the guild. But that can't be true, because I told Mercer I wouldn't deal with them anymore. I don't deal in land or property. Now, if you're looking for goods, you've come to the right person. Oh, wait. Did you say Golden Glow Estate? My apologies. I'm sorry to say I know very little about that, bee farm, was it? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I can't be expected to remember every deal I handle.
What is it about mead that appeals to Nords so much? Why not wine?
I don't care what you
Ale?
promise. If I tell you the buyer's name and word
I
gets
didn't
around,
remember it,
it can
understand.
ruin me. Well, now that you mention it, there is something I've been trying to get my hands on. I have a buyer looking for a case of Firebrand wine. There just so happens to be a single case in the Blue Palace. Bring it to me, and we'll talk about Golden Glow Estate.
Do you know of this bard, Micaiah? He plays in Whiterun. Bit of an eccentric.
I do. He's okay. A little breathy and a little harsh on the notes.
I never really was fond of him myself, but you bards don't cut each other slack, do you?
Not in our nature.
How are you doing? On we go.
Hey, don't sniff me too much, alright?
I'm not interested, Jari. It doesn't...
Warm drinks and warm beds.
This inn is definitely one of the more sophisticated ones I've been to. Definitely not comparable to the Bee and Bar.
Ah, I see you have the wine. Hand it over, and we'll talk. Good. Can't have the buyer getting impatient and looking elsewhere for this, can we? Here, take this. I certainly can't use it, but I suppose I need to pay you something for the goods. Not at all. I consider it an investment in prolonging my life. As far as Golden Glow Estate goes, I'll tell you what I know. I was approached by a woman who wanted me to act as the broker for something big. She flashed a bag of gold in my face and said all I had to do was pay Eric off for the estate. I brought in the coin and walked away with her copy of the deed. Not at all. I tend not to ask too many questions when I'm on the job. I'm sure you understand. However, I did notice she was quite angry, and it was being directed at Mercer Frey. In this business, we rarely deal in names. Our identity comes from how much coin we carry. Look, that's all I know. I never promised you I'd have all the answers. Now, since our transaction is done, I'll be on my way.
Seems there's always more to be done. Glad you decided to check us out.
Hope everyone enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell icon. See you all on the next video. Enjoy life and stay gaming.
Walk with the All-Maker.